Alright people, it is 10 a.m. on a Saturday. I'm Robo. This is the Weekly Rewind. New year, new channel, new sponsor. As you saw in the intro, Big Bad Toy Store has come along and they've offered to sponsor a couple of upcoming videos. Like this bad boy right here. Oh man. I love the Spider-Man movies and I love this Doc Ock. And just a reminder, anything I talk about during the Rewind, if it has a pre-order or more information, the link is in the description, including the Big Bad Toy Store link. So if you want to go down there and click on that, then that'd be perfectly fine too. I'll be here. If you want to go look at some toys, I'll be hanging out. Playing with my toys. Bottom line though, there may be some cosmetic changes, there may be some new content types on the way, but it's still me talking about toys, talking about action figures, or at least the announcement of action figures. I've been hearing a lot of good things about the Yolopark Transformers AMK Pro Series Megatron model kit. Hearing being the key word. I got mine directly from Yolopark store, and I haven't had a chance to open it up. I've been busy. Give me a break. It looks to be just a handful of G1 goodness, but don't worry, it's only a model kit in name. Well, I say don't worry, if you don't want to do model kits. It's not a model kit in the sense of a traditional model kit where it's all kinds of tiny, teeny little pieces that you have to glue together and figure out, and you put together wrong, then you have to take it back apart and then put it together again and hope you got it right. This is more like plug the extremities into the big parts and boom, done. Action figure. Megatron's in our hands, or at least on its way to our hands, and Optimus Prime has a pre-order up on Robo Don't Know sponsor Big Bad Toy Store. The listing has a release date of January 2024. Hey, that's this month. I had to think about it. 2024, is that this year? Yes, it is. What's weird about that though is that Yolopark themselves has not officially announced the solicitation. That's fine, because the whole reason I bring all this back up is that Yolopark has announced that they will be at a show in Hong Kong next week, and they're going to be showing more of the Optimus Prime, and then Starscream. Ooh, that's exciting. Mostly because I had a fear of them just doing the two biggies, the 2 leaders, and then just kind of drifting off into the sunset. Doing Starscream makes me think, oh man, are they gonna do more Autobots? Are they gonna do more Decepticons? You do a Starscream, you gotta do Skywarp and Thundercracker, right? That is more toys. That's more goodness. The figures in the announcement is actually their AMK mini-series, and as the name suggests, it's a smaller scale line with kind of softer details than the larger scale. But it may give us an idea at what we could see in the future of Pro Series, right? Bumblebee? Dinosaur Mode Grimlock? Soundwave. Come on. I just went into kind of a Soundwave. Now, I don't know if it's just going to be information or if they're going to be showing off the full-blown prototype or finished figure at this point. It could be releasing in March. Who knows? That's the point of talking about it before we actually know. Hey, they're going to be at a show. See you next week. Jumping over to something else in the ballpark of Hasbro, because we were just talking about Transformers, let's move over to Marvel Legends. We had already seen the pretty promotional pictures of Angel when it was announced back in December, but pre-orders opened up this week. That means we can do more of a deep dive gander at all of them. Like, how did I not realize there are 2 heads here? There's the stern gaze and then a more playful grinning head. I'm going to admit to not being an expert in, well, anything really, but when it comes to Worthington's costumes, I'm in the camp of good enough. That is close to my mental image. To me, this cowl skews modern, and this one feels more classic. This one I'd probably put with some Champions or Defenders, while this one would hang out on the X-Men shelves in some capacity. Or this one can go with the Defenders too. Google is no help. I search Angel Marvel costumes and it's just all over the place. Because I'm not even mentioning the angles on the boot and glove lines. Sometimes they're there, sometimes they're not. It may be accurate to this, it may not be accurate to that. So many artists over the years. Again, close enough. there's Angel. I love this video turnaround too. It gives more depth, more scope to the size of the wings. Yes, the pictures do that too, but here it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. It makes it feel deluxe and worth the $35 price tag. We've already talked about the possibilities of future figures, but we're gonna do it again because I've had more time to sit on. I've had more time to play around with the pictures. And it's just too easy with what they've given us. Like, here's the red and white. Great, gimme. There's also the blue and white. Would be an easy repaint in the future. What about a blue skin version? I think he rocked that with these costumes too at some point. Now that I say that though, will the alternate head that came with the deluxe Archangel fit on this body? Which isn't too hard to find out. This is reuse of Vulcan, so I guess I could. That's all the way in the house though. But if you have those too, you can find out for yourself. Oh, okay, that head will go here. And as excited as I am about getting a classic Angel, like I said, this one's mine. This one right here, this is mine. Go get your own. Go. As excited as I am about that, I will still keep banging the drum for the X Factor versions of the original 5. And that's just a simple repaint. Well, okay, a simple repaint that will look better than my simple edit here. This is just proof of concept. But looking at this, I do believe this concept's been proofed. Do this, and you can do the rest of the team times 2. Well, okay, Iceman is just belt swaps, right? He had either just an icy form or a regular belt underneath, and then he had his power dampener inhibitor thing because he got too powerful at some point. 2 releases of Jean, one in the green and yellow earlier in the X Factor series, one in the red and yellow that was later on. I'd buy Cyclops again because I do have a Cyclops problem, but if they did the blue and white on the bigger body they've been using for the Lee versions, then boom, I put my money down for that and the yellow and blue version, even though I'm not as much of a fan of it. It still represents the earlier team. And then there's Beast. I've brought this up during many a live stream. I would love for them to do the big body and then have swappable parts for either human feature Hank or blue furry Hank. But that's not how we usually get those things. So right there's 3 variations on Beast that they could do. There's human in the blue and red, there's human in the brown and yellow, and then there is brown and yellow with the blue furry parts on it to give me a little bit of B-Team Avengers during the Evolutionary War crossover. That annual, remember that? So good. I'm printing money here for you, Hasbro. Just give me the X Factor versions. And everything else that you can do with this Angel body. Those wings. Villain Mimic, Early Mimic, Exiles Mimic. Lots of mimics and other characters with wings. My brain's focused on X-Men repaints at the moment, so yeah. Give me all these. All of them. Fwoosh Toys has opened up pre-orders for their Naked Ninja. Get your mind out of the gutter. You know we're talking about action figures. In this context, naked means stripped down. That doesn't help, does it? It just means more of a bare release. Ow! Basically, the black costume ninja with less weapons offered at a cheaper price point of $25.99. So if you wanted more ninjas to fill out your displays, here you go. If the goal of 500 units sold is met. Even cooler than that, if it passes 1,000 units sold, the figure is going to get some upgrades. Butterfly shoulders, dumbbell neck, ball torso joints, hinged hips, ball wrists, and slightly larger head. That will bring the scale slightly up to fit better with the lines that say they're 1/12 scale, but are actually a bit bigger than that, just barely bigger. You can tell by the head sizes and the muscles and everything. You put them next to each other and it's like, wait a second. I thought you said this was 6-inch scale. This is like 6.25, 6.5, something like that. 1,500 units sold opens up Red Ninja, 2,000 gives us white, and then 2,500 unleashes blue upon the world. All with the new articulation scheme. Also, because of demand, Fwoosh is opening up a Smoky Ninja option to give you that stealthy, shadowy version that you can put in the back of the shelf. Is that a ninja back there? Yes, it is. I had to look closer. Now, to clarify, those tiers open up those colorways to their own tiers. Each one has to sell 500 units in order for it to be funded. So 1,500 opens up the Red Ninja tier, who needs 500 units sold in order to actually get made. So there's steps to this. Link is in the description. And while you're on the Fwoosh store, the PowerCon glow-in-the-dark skeleton is also available for shipping right now. That gives you that spooky colorway to stand out on your shelf. There's the Shadow Ninja in the back. Then there's this neon green skeleton right up front. The regular skeleton is sold out right now, so green is the only option at the moment, but it does look like the pumpkin-headed Jacks is on their way. They're loaded up, they're coming across the ocean. Ace at Ramen Toy did a live stream on New Year's Day giving us a little glimpse of what we can look forward to in 2024, and one of those is the Ramen Razor. It's built on the Ramen Racer with parts that give it more of a post-apocalyptic feel, and that's where we're gonna leave that in 1/12 scale. Seems like there's gonna be two options to buy. You can either get all those pieces and put it on your own Ramen Racer when that ships, or just buy the whole thing outright, and it comes with its own color scheme with rust and dirt, and again, it's seen some stuff. Veebs and I talked about this during our last live stream, and we are downright spoilt when it comes to 1/12 vehicles at the moment. Because don't forget, Ramen is also working on their bread car, and it's coming along very, very nicely. And you thought you had room in your display for everything you wanted. I sure as hell don't. Good grief. Keeping up with some third-party fare, here is the Hellcat Toys Gray Wizard. I don't even try to keep up with third-party stuff anymore. It is coming so hot and heavy, but when something interesting scrolls across my feed, it's like, oh, okay, let's talk about this. This is obviously a nice-looking soft goods Gandalf. It's so nice looking that a certain soft goods hating friend of the channel already has this on pre-order. In fact, Veebs was the one that texted me and went, "Have you seen this? Holy shit." At least that's how I read the text. It could have been, "Hey, have you seen this?" Yeah, I put it on pre-order. So I'm taking it as, "Hey, have you seen this? I put it on pre-order." Well, he's also a huge Lord of the Rings fan, so he was like, oh, well, that tracks. That makes sense. And did I mention the likeness? Oh, good grief. It looks like it just stepped right out of screen onto a shelf. And it seems like I say that a lot these days. Doesn't matter. Official, licensed, third party, everybody's killing it. Really not too bad for $76. What's interesting here, though, is that there's also a deluxe version that comes with rooted hair, and how does that look even better? Those are all words I never thought I'd put in a sentence. 1/12 scale, rooted hair, looks amazing. Because I'll repeat, 1/12 scale figure, rooted hair, looks amazing. At least in the promo shots. It may be a case of receiving product, opening the box, and it looking like Ian McKellen on a super bad hair day. Just look for my hairspray at first light on the 5th day. At dawn, look for my brush. This does push the price point up to $110, but you do get an extra staff, a satchel, and the sculpted hair head from the first release. I don't know. If you're into this may be the way to go. But wait, there's also the separate 15.5-inch Abyss Demon that you can order as a base for your Gray Wizard. I was confused at first about the listing on 5K Toys because everything's on one page and there's a drop down. You can get the regular, the deluxe, and then the Abyss Demon. So I thought the third option included the figure, the accessories, and the Balrog, but it doesn't. That is a completely separate purchase. Did I say Balrog? I meant this totally random fiery demon to go along with your generic wizard figure. Something to keep in mind though, after a quick search, I can't find any kind of track record for this company. That doesn't mean they haven't released anything, because some third-party companies like to jump around. Maybe due to legalities and such. They changed their name, they changed their promo pictures up a little bit. So this may be an older company that's released figures before, but oh, we're dipping into this realm, we better change things up a bit. I wanted to throw that out there. Just be aware of that before committing. I just show you the pretties, I'm not trying to spend your monies. Because while we're on third party street, let's talk about something a little nearer and dearer to my heart. Don't get me wrong, I love Lord of the Rings, but it's never been a priority when it comes to my collecting. DC, on the other hand, and specifically Joker, is right up my crime alley. Getting an import quality 1/12 scale Batman 66 Cesar Romero Joker is something I didn't even know I needed. I thought I was perfectly happy with the McFarlane DC Retro release, but especially at that price. But then this popped up on my screen, and it was like, where have you been all my life? I think I love you. Not just because the figure itself looks amazing with its 3 head sculpts, a little hint of mustache that is so signature to this version, but also all the options included. A bouquet, the surfer shorts, the picture frame, a mask because, hey, Batman 66, even Joker needs a disguise every now and then even the total dehydrator. This is the ultimate release of this specific version of the character, hands down. What makes it even more tempting is that I'm still riding the high of naming the Felix Toy Clown or the Dark Knight Heath Ledger Joker as my second favorite figure of 2023. This looks like it will stand perfectly next to that. Well, okay, the quality of the soft goods don't seem to be quite as nice as that release, but it's up there. I mean, it's still 1/12 scale clothing that looks awesome on the figure. That's not me taking anything away from it. It's just that other Joker's hard to beat. Now, if Felix would ever announce that kooky Uncle Jack Joker that they teased last year, that'd be icing. That would make a hell of a display. Even better, it seems Mars Toys has some releases under their belt, mostly in the 1/6 scale. In fact, this 6-inch figure is a direct scale down of their 12-inch version. Comes with all the same accessories, same sculpt, same everything, just shrunk. So all the building blocks are there. Just gotta wait for the shrink ray to take effect. I do notice that Mars Toys also has a 1/6 scale Batman 66 Riddler up for pre-order. Could that be a future release in 1/12 scale? Import Batman 66 figures. Man, what a time we're living in. But one step at a time. Let's get this Joker released, get it in our hands, see how it turns out, and then we'll commence with the wish listing. And that's it for this week. Like I always say, just a few things that caught my eye over the past 7 days. I'm not looking to be comprehensive, the news channel. I just like talking about what I like, you know? Things that stick themselves up into my brain. Things that call my name. Something I did get this week that, oh man, I had talked about the Masters of the Universe Origins cartoon collection. I got He-Man a couple of days ago. I feel like my whole outlook has changed on that line. The classics were cool in their updated, bigger style. Those with the Filmation looks were even better. Masterverse caught my attention for a little bit, but these may just be my He-Man line. That may be my favorite He-Man of all time. Well, okay, I can say that about this. It looks like the characters leaping off the TV screen right into my hand in that nostalgia 80s feel of an action figure. It's hard to describe. Don't get me wrong, my heart still lies here too. Super detailed, hyper articulated, but there's also room for other things. I ain't going 3 3/4 inch, shut your mouth. Or 12 inch. I can't afford Hot Toys. But while I'm cutting back on some things, I may be adding to in other things. Like I said at the first, thanks to Big Bad Toy Store for sponsoring some videos. If you're wanting the Yolopark Optimus Prime or the Marvel Legends Angel, the links are in the description. Go ahead and click those if you want to. Special thanks to the Patreon, who we still have not come up with a name for. There's so many possibilities. Everybody has some great ideas for it, but I don't know, it's hard to settle, especially when there's so many options. A lot of them feel like 80s cover bands. Robo and the No-Nos, N-O-K-N-O-W-S. Yeah, but we'll settle for something sometime, because that's what we do. Just bounce back and forth. Talking about toys, talking about options. They were also the ones that got to see in real time the struggle of trying to come up with a featured image for the rewind. In my brain, it's so, well, I gotta put this white background over to here, and it's gotta be balanced on the other side, and then the face here, here. Oh, he's facing this way towards the center. This one has to be facing the opposite direction. So I threw up a sneak peek of today's featured image, and then automatically came back 10 minutes later and had a different version to show. And they were like, oh, okay, that one does look better. Again, special thanks. What else is there? I think that's it. Is it time to end this video? Is it time to say goodbye? R.O.B. No, can't do that. How about we not get too fancy with it, not get too catchphrasey with it, and just say, see you real soon.